Well, it's not Marks, everybody. I'm gonna do this first, Dusty. Okay, you get the fuck out of my way. All right, dude. It's 151 episodes. I'm
Hey.
driving a tight ship now. Okay.
Yeah, you finally 150. You decided to turn it
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
Welcome to Snarkworks, everybody. We are a very funny podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Dusty's in a very bright room. You go from like looking normal to looking like you're getting raptured, and it worries me.
Yeah, I'm being haloed. I don't know why. There's, I just have the one light on that I normally have. So
cameras are stupid. It's the sun. You have your blinds closed behind you, but cameras for some reason pick up every bit of sun that comes through. Anyway, tech talk. Okay, follow us on all the socials at SnarkMarksPod on Instagram and Twitter. At SnarkMarkD on Twitter is Dusty. I am at Andrew Idell on Instagram. I accidentally called Twitter X earlier, and I almost pooped my pants, Dusty.
You let Elon get to you, dude.
Listen, and I'm not an Elon hater. I'm not an Elon lover by any stretch, but I'm also not. I feel like we'll talk about that. We'll take that off air. But I will not call it X. It's stupid. Why did you call it X? It's Twitter, dog. It's Twitter.
Well, because what you want to do is take a very successful brand that has a lot of marketability and just completely mess it up.
Dude,
by calling it
turn it into just porn bots and videos of people dying. And
yeah.
I can't believe what he did to that site. Like I am on board with the kind of, let's get the bias out of journalism stuff that he talks about, all that type of things. What he did to Twitter is a travesty.
He destroyed the one good site we had.
Dude, it was bad. Like Donald Trump ruined Twitter first. His army of edgelords and fucking Pepe the Frog guys ruined Twitter. And then Elon was like, you know what? I'm going to make it a swap meet. So of just engagement farming and bullshit. When back in the day, it was when a lot of people don't know what Twitter was in like 2011, 2012. It was like where the funniest, smartest people in the world, including me, put all their jokes.
Yeah. It's the most, and it was like you had to be the most succinct person you could be. Like you had to cut all the fat off of every opinion and every joke because you only got the 140 characters. Made people better at engaging because you couldn't just rant and ramble.
And you could legitimately follow news stories in real time and get real information. And like I followed the Boston bombing on Twitter. I followed like a bunch of things. When it's happening, you get all these updates. And now whenever anything's happening, all you see is conspiracy morons being like, actually, it was the lizards that did this.
Yeah. Busy lizards.
Oh my God. How many threads I see of just people being like, oh man, imagine thinking NASA pictures are real. LOL.
Now all I see are, hey, this person used to be on TV and then their life took a crazy turn. A thread, and then you have to read like 8 additional tweets about. So like, I don't care. Couldn't care less.
I'm done with the threads. Let's put it in one, or just get out of here. Go to Facebook or Substack or whatever, wherever the people are going.
Whatever the newest one is that I don't care about. Andrew, I'm having a problem.
Yeah.
I need your help. I have an opinion that I'm holding that I fear might be not the consensus opinion.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm worried because I think I know what you're about to say. And I just want you to know. You need to be sure before you say this.
No, that's later on. I'll dig my own grave later on.
Okay.
Is the Rob Thomas Santana song Smooth a bad song? Because I don't think it's a bad song.
No, it's not, dude.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's
I was so worried.
It's so easy to make fun of. Just like the ocean. Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
But and I think, are you thinking of Rob Thomas because of the Daily Dozen today?
No, I was listening to a podcast and somebody was like, that song sucks. And I was like, oh no. I agree with this person's opinions generally.
Yeah.
But I think they're way off base. I think that it's a Nickelback style of hate. I think it's cool to hate Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas. But I don't think it's a bad song. Is it are there elements of it that are silly? My Spanish Harlem Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Yes.
The way he sings the verse.
Yes. It's a hot one. Yeah. But good song.
Yeah, we decided that's one of the things we make fun of. I make fun of it. It's you can make fun of things that you enjoy, but there's so many worse songs out there, man.
Yeah.
There's so many. But I'll give you. I'm gonna eat some crow in a little bit. But let's continue with the Rob Thomas thing. I didn't know he was a singer from Matchbox 20. I found that out today. A few hours
you didn't realize?
No, I didn't know.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it makes sense. But
that's really, if you start to look at the pieces,
it's hard to hate a song with Santana playing the guitar on it.
Yeah,
like because Rob Thomas tries to make that a shitty song. He really tries to make it.
Yeah, you think okay? So you think? I think the thing is, the music is very cool.
Oh man,
and Santana shreds on that song.
Yeah. He's goddamn Carlos Santana.
You're right. And I think it won like a million. It won like a million Grammys. So I think people are like, "Oh, Supernatural, that's fucking every man." Like late '90s, everybody owns it in their CD case, but nobody listens to it. Rock. And like the Dave Matthews Band sold so many records, and like, who do you know that really, really likes the Dave Matthews Band? Like,
I know a guy.
Okay,
I know a guy. I think I'm in the minority that I know a guy, but I know a guy, and that guy. Well, this will get into our later on. We're going to talk about the Tortured Poets Society. Bad name. We'll keep going anyway. But he chastised me because I had a positive opinion about the album, and he was like, "Come on, man," and I was like, "Have you listened to it?" And he's like, "I don't need to." That guy loves Dave Matthews Band.
Right. Well, also the I don't need to, and look, I've done the I don't need to, and I've been wrong.
It's tough, dude. Yeah, I'm not doing the I don't need to anymore.
Or I just have no opinion on it. Hey, have you heard the new Metallica? No. Do you think it sucks? I don't have an opinion. Haven't listened to it.
Yeah.
I have listened to the new Metallica. I think it's good. But for instance,
and that's the tough thing, because I say I'm not doing that. I don't need to anymore. But there's no way I like an Ice Spice album. So,
sure.
I can't really get mad at that. But I'm not gonna get mad at somebody for saying it's good and reach out to them, because what if it's good?
Right. There's no reason to critique it. It's not for me. So I'm just not going to engage in that space. I think that's the smart move, is like the wrong, or that the wrong thing to have is everything has to be for me. Like, I have to run all things through the prism of things that I like, and everything should be for me. Some things aren't for me, and that's good. They shouldn't be. I don't need them,
Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, Ice Spice could be great. I'm probably never going to listen to it. It just doesn't interest me. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean somebody else shouldn't have it or want it.
Enjoy yourself. Whatever. Just keep it. Yeah. So Smooth.
Yeah.
Was number 1 for 12 consecutive weeks.
Oh yeah, it was a hot one. Did you not hear me say it earlier?
Yeah, I know. Is it? Do you know who Rob Thomas originally wanted to sing the song?
You mean who Santana wanted to sing it originally?
No, Rob Thomas. So it was originally conceived by somebody named Ital Schur as a song called Room 17. The lyrics were stripped off and the track was given to Rob Thomas, who rewrote the lyrics and melody and retitled it Smooth, then recorded the song as a demo to play for Santana. Santana heard the song and decided to have Thomas sing the final version. So Santana fucked this song up. Because like I'm saying, I'm not saying it's a terrible song. Do you know who they wanted to sing this? Who Rob Thomas was going to have sing the song if Santana wouldn't have been like, you need to sing the song?
Fred Durst.
George Michael.
Okay. I can see that.
I'd love to hear that version of that song.
Yeah. There's
If this is the thing, I'm mad at Santana because there's almost nothing that you would rather have Rob Thomas do than George Michael.
Right. Well, except at that point,
Except marry a lady.
right? I don't think that George Michael had the cachet like Rob Thomas had it in the moment. Like I think Matchbox 20 pretty popular like late 90s alternative band, and I think George Michael had sort of fallen off the radar. So like if you're trying to get radio play, you want a Rob Thomas in the moment,
When did Careless Whisper? 1984. God damn, I didn't know that was that far back.
Yeah. And then like Freedom 90, came out in 1990. That's a banger song. But I think like he took a lot of time off because I think being as crazy famous as George Michael was really had an effect on him. Plus he had to like keep his whole personal life secret. There's a whole thing. There's a podcast I listen to called 60 Songs That Explain the 90s that really goes into the like George Michael, the whole thing of his career, which is really interesting. But like, he didn't come out truly until like the late 90s, I think, until after he was arrested for going into that bathroom with that cop. But
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
he got arrested the year before this song released. So I'm wondering if Santana was like, right.
Not, I'm trying to make a comeback here. Well, and if you look at that album, it's like people of the moment, like Michelle Branch and him do a collab on that. And then I think there's like, because Santana doesn't sing, so it's like a bunch of guest singers on it.
By the way, how dope is it that group was called Wham with an exclamation?
Just, I mean, you want to know what they're about. That's
true.
Yeah. They don't, no muss, no fuss.
I'm a big onomatopoeia guy. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Wham.
Wham. Yeah, Smooth. Doesn't suck. It doesn't suck. There's so many more things that suck. I would not consider Smooth a sucking thing, but it is very make funnable. I think that's a good distinction. Yeah,
I think you could. Yeah, whenever it comes on, like if you aren't moving just a little bit, something's wrong with you.
Oh, the like.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh no, that's not the one. It's isn't that the one? That's the one.
Yeah, I think you might actually have both lines, guitar lines in
listen,
that one. Yeah.
Try to keep your knees listening to that.
Well, but even when it starts,
hear me.
It's like bum 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 bum. That's good.
I thought that was the beginning of what's that Metallica song?
Oh, bum 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 bum. Yeah. I bet you can mash up For Whom the Bell Tolls and Supernatural.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. For Who the Bell Smooth?
For Smooth the Bell Tolls.
Smooth the Bell Tolls. Yeah.
For Smooth the Bell Tolls.
Someone get on that. That's
else forget about it.
Yeah. Okay. So we did
or
go
bells
a little
forget about it.
Bells forget about it. Yeah.
Or bells forget about it. Listen, I'm handing you guys a very expensive idea here.
Yeah. Oh, that album has Put Your Lights On with Everlast and Santana. That is a good ass song. I like that song.
Everlast rubs me the wrong way, man. I don't know.
They call him Black Jesus. Have you heard? White Moses.
He's Whitey Ford, right?
Yeah. From House of Pain.
Yeah.
He's all right.
I came to win. Battle me. That's a sin. That's a good song.
Yeah. All right. We talked about it. We didn't talk about it. We alluded to it a few minutes ago. Andrew, the Tortured Poets Department, I believe is what it's called.
I think I called it Society earlier. Dude, I've been screwing that name up.
Well,
for
Dead Poets Society.
I know.
Tortured Poet Department.
Yeah.
By Taylor Swift came out last Friday. Now, I have never listened to an entire Taylor Swift album before, in the interest of full disclosure. But because I thought it would come up on the podcast, and because I want to be a man of the moment, it's like, I'm going to go ahead and listen to this. The first thing I clicked on Spotify, 31 goddamn songs.
Yeah, she did a surprise double album.
Guess what? I don't have time
Too
for
many
31
songs.
songs.
That's too many songs.
Too
It
many
is too many songs. We don't need very many double albums ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Too long.
So I found the regular version, 16 songs. Still a lot of songs, but
Yeah.
a manageable amount of songs.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it
All right.
very much.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few songs that I really, really liked. I don't know. This does not seem, from the outside, an atypical Taylor Swift album. I guess the last few albums have been sort of moving in a sort of folksier, sort of ethereal kind of direction.
Yeah.
Right?
Kai's going to be so mad she's not involved in this conversation, by the way.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be on. She has her daughter tonight. I couldn't reschedule. Sorry, Kai.
Yeah.
She's going to send me notes and everything.
Yeah, she can at me for the corrections, you know.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna text her and see if she gets back to me. Hold on. Go ahead.
Fortnite with Post Malone. Liked it. Good song. The Down Bad, probably my favorite song. Really like that song.
Mm-hmm.
But Daddy, I Love Him. Florida with the singer from Florence and the Machine. Pretty good. Who's Afraid of Little Old Me? I also really liked. The one overriding critique, and I'm scared to even put it out there.
Yeah, don't give out your address on this.
Yeah, a lot of the songs sound the same to me.
Yeah,
they have similar production. That's it. They're like, it was hard for me to tell when one song was over and a new song was starting. And I don't know if that's on purpose for the concept album part of it. If that's just the vibe that she's in right now, that's also fine. It just is difficult to know when I'm on to the next song. Like there are a couple of times where I'm like, man, this is a long ass song. And it's the next one already. Okay. You know.
Yeah. And I agree to a certain extent. I think that's pretty common, especially for artists of which you're not familiar, for every song to sound the same. I think when you listen to somebody a lot, like a whole lot, you notice the differences more often in certain things, I think.
Yeah.
With this one, they are very a lot of the songs are similar, but I think the hooks are really distinct. I compared this album to Pet Sounds, so I'm not in greatness, okay?
Sure.
Listen to me. Pet Sounds is my favorite album ever made.
Yeah.
You know, I think this the Torture Poets Department is a very good album. I say bad name because I stumble over it every time I say it. I understand the significance of the name to an extent, and I understand all that. I just think it's for some reason it's a tongue twister for me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I really enjoy about her, and I was talking to Kai about this earlier, is she says really profound things in very simple but clever ways.
Yeah.
Like we talked about there's a lyric that says, "How much sad did you think I had?"
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a very simple way to say something. It's almost like using sad as a noun is a very weird thing that like kind of catches your brain, but it's very sticky, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I compared it to Pet Sounds, because Pet Sounds has very she just texted me, so I'll read her. Let me see if she okay, yep. I just read the first few words. Oh man, at the end it's gonna be a Dusty better not have fucking said that sounds the same.
Yeah.
But very simple but moving lyrics accompanied by multi-layered music that because there's some really cool little things like little bells in the background and stuff like that happen within the production of the music.
Yeah.
And I think it's harder than it seems than it seems like it would be to write music that's that simple but that moves people so much. And I think I truly do. Like I'm not going to drive around and listen to the Tortured Poets Department after I listen to this album once. Probably there's probably a few songs that I like. I love Fortnite. Fortnite's one of my favorite songs. Down Bad, like you said. So Long London is really good. Like it's very, very good. It's just I'm a dude, you know. Like I really
Yeah.
I can't just drive around and think about my ex-girlfriends, you
That's
know?
yeah. It's cutting into Opie and Anthony clips as well.
It really
Yeah.
is, and listening to my own podcast.
Right.
So, do you want to hear Kai's?
I would love to hear her
I'm
rebuttal.
I'm gonna try to. A beautifully tortured world where it turns out the manic episode man you date after your big breakup ends up breaking your heart deeper than anyone before. A collection of poems that captures how unstable love with the wrong person can make you.
Yeah. The other thing that I was going to say is that like Taylor Swift in like a very good way with her fan base has cultivated this like I I don't know. I mean, Kai sent us a clip of someone comparing Taylor Swift fans to wrestling fans, but I think another apt uh, analogy would be like they just dropped the new Deadpool Wolverine trailer. It's coming out,
Okay.
right? No, stay with me.
Okay, Dusty.
Stay with me.
Okay.
And
All
they're
right. All right.
they're I'm gonna walk you through the forest.
Well,
all
listen,
right?
I'm fucking worried about this.
No. You stay with me. And there are a
They
ton.
just came out with a new flavored Doritos.
Yeah. No. There are a ton of Easter eggs in this trailer for the hardcore fans of this thing that follow the minutia of it and like really care about it that you might not otherwise catch. Like, and I think to some degree that is what Taylor Swift, like what her fans look forward to in her music, is because it's so confessional and because people feel such a connection to her that are her fans, and because they know that she writes such like intimate takes on her life. Like she broke up with Matt Healy, who she was in like a 6-year relationship with, and then this album comes out and it's like now we're combing through it to figure out like, oh, what's the real shit. Because she also, I read an interview where it's like she unlocked this idea of like not every song has to be about her personal experience, and so she writes from the perspective of characters, which is also interesting. Like that not all the songs are necessarily about her. But they all convey this sort of universal feeling, or this feeling that she is able to connect with her fans. So like there are people diving into these songs and these lyrics like it's the Rosetta Stone. You know, like there's supposed to be a diss track of Kim Kardashian based on the spelling of the song, uppercase and lowercase letters, and all of this
Oh
are
yeah,
supposed to spell.
She didn't hide that one very
right. But it's like, you know, she never stops beefing. You know, she won't squash the beef. So like I understand. It's just like I don't have that level of engagement with her as an artist to really dive in and listen for some of those things. So like the obvious things, you know, I get in the songs, but the sort of deeper things I don't get, as opposed to like whenever I was really into following like Bright Eyes or Connor Oberst or any of those like those dudes, and I knew all of their stuff that was going on, I'd listen to the songs and be like, oh, this shit is about this thing that's you know, everybody has their people that they do that for. And so I think it's a very well done album. I think like I said, like it's not like the music's boring or I didn't find it interesting. It's just a lot of it pulled from the same sort of aesthetic, and maybe that's the aesthetic that's going on right now, you know. But I was waiting for like maybe Florida is the one, but like one big like banger like pop track, and maybe she's not doing that right now.
That's not really where she is. She's because she defines the aesthetic. Like a lot of times, like there have been times in her career where she has been accused of and this is just anecdotal, like I'm not a Taylor Swift historian, but I remember when Shake It Off came out, and it was, if I remember correctly, and Kai is screaming at her phone right now, but if I remember correctly, that was like her foray into pop, like that was her becoming a pop star, and people are like, what is Taylor Swift trying to be a pop star now for? And I would say with the Easter egg stuff, it's a chicken or the egg situation. I think she does the Easter egg stuff. First of all, she's a brilliant marketer, but I truly do believe she cares about the people who she understands her role in the particularly female lexicon. But she, the Easter egg stuff matters to them because the emotionality was there from the beginning.
Right.
Like, if you go back and listen to Love Story and Tim McGraw and all those songs like Our Song and all those songs from back in the day, that was her, like, that sounds like my 17-year-old era, like, because that's what all the girls were listening to at the time, and they really resonated with that. She's just so keen and tuned into that. Like, it's true that Shane Gillis is the Taylor Swift for dudes, because like he has honed in on all the coolest parts about being a guy.
Right.
Like, it's less emotional and sad, and I'm not shitting on women for that. Like, it's probably a strength of women to be able to pack a theater and cry together.
It's certainly less elegant, you know.
Yeah, but it's like he has like encapsulated like the dudes rock idea of things, you know.
Right.
And like with Taylor, she does it on purpose, but I also don't think she can help it. But
and it wasn't a critique. It was just it's like, I understand that for the things that I love, like, I'll dive into this Deadpool and Wolverine trailer and be like, oh shit, it's the giant Ant-Man corpse. That's from the comic. They're fucking bringing that back, you know. Right, but it's the same, you know. It's like, oh shit, is this lyric about her and Matt Healy breaking up, or is it just some song she wrote about some characters?
I got the lowdown from multiple women texting me. I've had, my phone has been blown up with every fucking woman I've talked to in the last 20 years about, because they know I'm the guy that they could talk to about this, that isn't going to be like chick songs, you know.
But or you know, the same thing for like WWE. I'll put myself on blast for this. You know, the way that they tell their stories, if they're telling really good ones, is it's like, oh shit, that's a callback to this time when this happened, or like
Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, where Seth Taylor Swift fans are gonna be mad about this.
Yeah,
Seth was in the Shield with Roman Reigns. He betrayed Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns could never let go of it. Seth told Cody going into WrestleMania, "I can be your Shield." Wink, wink. Shield comes out during the match wearing his Shield uniform with a chair in his hand. A chair is how he betrayed Roman. He ends up passed out in the middle of the floor. Roman picks up the chair, and he can either hit Cody Rhodes with it and probably retain his title, or finally close the door on Seth Rollins and get him back for that chair that he hit him with.
Yeah.
And he chose to go after Seth Rollins, and it cost him his title. Tell me that isn't beautiful.
Yeah. That's
how much sad do you think that guy had? You know?
Yeah, it's a love story, baby. That's
we're making movies.
Yeah, it's just whatever because that's the other thing is, again, it's not a knock to what we talked about earlier. Whatever your thing is that you're super into, that you see all the connections and they're doing fan service for you. Like, if you love that, then you can't hate the Taylor Swift songwriting style, or the fact that people read into her lyrics, or the fact that like people are making connections and posts about, oh, she said this then and now she's saying this now, or is this song about Travis Kelce? Like, you have something in your life you do the exact same shit for, and everybody does. It's good. Be a fan of your thing. Just don't be mad at somebody else who's a fan of their thing,
especially at the level that she's at. Like, let's stop pretending this is an industry plant pop star who people go out there and she's like the target of music. Let's stop pretending that. Yeah. Anybody who acts like this girl is this commercial surface level for dumb people artist that they're too cool to listen to, they have just, and not everybody, because some people will listen to her music earnestly and not like it, and that's totally fine. But a lot of the people, like, you know, so like I said, the guy who hit me up and said he didn't have to listen to it, and he was like, she's no Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill put out one album, dog. Like,
yeah, one really good album. Yeah,
it was one of the best hip hop albums, full stop, no gender, ever made, in my opinion. But Taylor Swift isn't Lauryn Hill isn't Taylor Swift. That's the weird thing about it. Like, Lauryn Hill is amazing. I love Lauryn Hill, but she's not Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has changed the music industry. Taylor Swift is packing stadiums full of crying women making $100 million a night.
Yeah,
almost,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
She saved the global economy. There's like a real argument to be made that the Eras tour saved the universe the way the fucking Avengers did. Like it's instead of having to fight the Ultron murder robots, she just filled stadiums with a really great fucking music show.
Dude, it was. Didn't you say you watched it?
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. It is long. It is
very long. But so that's the thing. It's like I love that. Like I said, women have something like that to go to and to enjoy and to feel together. Like she is, like I said on a previous podcast, she's the physical embodiment of all the women in that stadium at every time that and some of the men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not just only women, but let's stop like the cynicism towards this. Like I said, I'll probably never like an Ice Spice song. All that. Ice Spice ain't no fucking Taylor Swift.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Beyonce is barely Taylor Swift at this point. But Beyonce is amazing. Beyonce is another one of those people that's like, let's not pretend that Beyonce is Christina Aguilera.
Right. Or like some sort of flash in the pan or something.
Yeah, even though Aguilera is like she's a crazy good singer, like let's not pretend Beyonce's Jessica Simpson or like somebody or even a Katy Perry who had a great career or has had a great career.
Yeah.
It's like those two women are the real deal, and Beyonce's music isn't totally for me, but I'm not gonna go, come on, dude, you like Beyonce? It's right. Like, okay, once you're sniffing your own farts at this point. Yeah, those are the type of guys that really think "Smooth" by Rob Thomas sucks.
Yeah,
it's stupid.
Well, and it's maybe the last thing is like what Taylor Swift does gets denigrated because it appears to be easy, but what she does both on her albums, which are very commendable, like. What she does on her albums is very difficult. Writing 16 good songs, or writing one good song is really hard. So, like the writing an entire catalog of great songs, and then being able to go out and perform a 3+ hour show that entertains people and keeps people interested. Like not just the physical aspect of what she does, most bands can't do. Like, and most bands are not just playing instruments, but they're playing instruments. So they're not. Taylor Swift is the show. Like nobody cares who plays keyboard for Taylor Swift unless it's Taylor Swift playing keyboard. Like she has to do all of it. She has to sing. She has to dance. She has to connect with 100,000 people in a stadium who all paid more money than they'll ever make back to see her perform. Like,
and I've literally never heard of anybody who went and was like, man, she wasn't very good.
Right. It's all on her. And that's an incredible amount of pressure to put on yourself and then still write albums and still reinvent yourself and still make like new art that's interesting and like good. And even if you don't like her music, what she does is incredible and shouldn't be undersold. So
just stay off the screen at my football games.
Yeah, and then in the off season, she wants to go support her boyfriend, who, by the way, catches a ball from other dudes for a living. So like, it's not that important either way.
Well, people are acting like they were playing her music the whole game. Like they show her like 4 times, and people like it's just people like her make so many people tell on themselves.
Yeah,
because. There's a lot of people who don't like her music who I completely respect their opinion and all that type of stuff. But like some of the hatred that oh my God, I hate her. So I literally see people on Facebook be like, I hate her. It's like, well, why? Yeah. Like, what is she doing? A lot of people, there's political reasons. She's come out pro-abortion and stuff like that. So there's right. That aspect of it, which I disagree with hating her over, but I understand why, people care about that shit, but like, some people, it's just because she's a broad at a football game.
It's because she's very, very famous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
tell me that's not jealousy at the bottom of that pyramid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and again, it's because it's like, you think, given the opportunity, you could also do it. And that's the definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's like, they could give me a guitar in 1,000,000 hours. I'd never write a song as good as one Taylor Swift hit. It's just, I don't have it. Like,
Yeah, and I think she's even further legitimized by the fact that she's not a supermodel. Like, she's not supermodel hot. She's very pretty. She's a
yeah,
pretty girl, but like she's she is attractive, but her talent transcends all of it.
right,
She's not the best singer in the world. She's not the best dancer in the world. She's an incredible songwriter who has an uncanny ability to connect with her audience, and that those two things are more important than the other thing. I don't have a problem with certain like critiques of her, all that stuff, but the bros, man. Well, even the bros haven't been the problem. It's the boomers. It's the boomers and the people who boycotted Bud Light.
and they've all come together on X just to put a tidy bow on it, you know.
And the funny thing is, I do see more hatred towards her by women than men. That's an interesting thing. It's like 40-year-old women are like those. The only people who I've seen say they hate Taylor Swift, literally use that word, are multiple people, females on Facebook. And
Right.
it's like, oh man, you guys are just the snake's eating its own tail.
Yeah. Well, it's because you know, I don't know, you never did it. So, you know, now you're like, here she is up here being on TV and taking advantage of all the opportunities she's earned, the audacity of her to be super famous, you know, and
the world is high school and she's the pretty girl dating the jock.
Right. And you can't hate her because she's like a nice person. If she were mean, like that's why people dig and they want all of it. Like, oh, she dates too many people. Oh, she's always talking about her relationships and blah, blah. Cause like there really isn't nothing. She seems like a genuinely nice, good person. So like,
Yeah.
if she, you know, if in high school, if the prettiest girl was also like very mean, you're like, okay, yeah, thank God. Now there's a legitimate reason for me to dislike this person, even though the reason I dislike them is because they're the most popular person, you know?
Yeah.
But if they
And
were
I think-
nice, then you have to create your own demon, you know?
And I think there's a modicum of, and they don't, I think it's subconscious, but she doesn't have like quote unquote celebrity relationships. Like right now she kind of is in like the most high profile relationship in the world, but she seems to give her heart to these people, right? It's not like, oh man, Taylor Swift debuts her new bow at the Met Gala and then you don't hear anything about it and then they break up quietly and stuff. It is like
Right.
Taylor Swift is in love with this person and is like privately having this crazy journey and then it goes south and she tells us about it.
Right.
And like not all artists do that. So I think like a lot of people are like, oh my God, come on, give it a rest already. And it's like, I think it's just because they're not used to celebrities being so candid about how they feel. It's more about how they think, how they think the world wants them to feel. And like she just kind of talks about how heartbroken she is pretty often, you know?
Yeah, I guess, and maybe that's a new media thing too. I've never thought about that, which is like, you know, Garth Brooks was like the biggest star in the world in the 90s, but like you didn't really know that much about Garth Brooks. It wasn't important for you to know about Garth Brooks. You just knew, you know, he had friends in low places, When the Thunder Rolled, etc.
Well, and the sad songs that he sings are written by other people about other things or about concepts. Like I know I've said it before on the podcast. I know a guy who wrote a few of Garth Brooks songs. A lot of them, he's just like out on the shooting range and was like, you know what, I want to write a song about this thing, and it's like not necessarily even a story about himself, and then he gives it to Garth.
Right.
And like this is a girl who's literally telling you, hey, I had my heart ripped out of my chest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write an album about it.
And now the currency sort of is in like fully engaging in your audience and giving people the behind the scenes sort of look, and like, you know, there's a pushback to that too, you know, that people have, you know, like maybe that's part of it too, is like she seems like a very private person, or as private as she can be as the most famous person in the world, like about her relationships when they're going on, but people know, oh, she writes songs about things in her life, you know, and so like she's trying to do both things, and I think people are mad about both things, you know, like if she gives too much away, people are like, oh, keep it to yourself. And then whenever she writes about like a songwriter would about her life experiences. People are like, keep it to yourself, and like she can't win for losing. But that's
Yeah,
also being super famous. You can't win for losing.
well, and the people that we resonate with most write about their lives, like John Lennon.
Yeah.
Even Eminem, early Eminem. Like now,
Right.
Eminem is like, I'm the greatest. But back in the day, it was like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
I'm sick of being poor, and I'm very poor, and my mom was a drug addict, and she gave me drugs as a kid,
Yeah.
and all these things, and like that's when, even though the surface level of why we loved Eminem was the shock and the funniness and the flow and like his talent and stuff, I think what really put him over the top as an endearing artist is the fact that he talked about Kim, and he talked about his mom, and he talked about even his was it his nephew that killed himself or something?
No,
like
his
that?
uncle Ronnie.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Uncle Ronnie. Yeah, I heard about your Uncle Ronnie. Yeah. So like those artists resonate with us, and she is like almost all that.
Yeah, she's
like,
that times a million. She's like,
yeah.
Because Stan is a song about Eminem trying to wrestle with his fame and the fact that you give too much of yourself away to people,
And people expect, they think they know you, and they expect all this stuff out of you.
Right. The Way I Am is the same thing. I can't take a shit in the bathroom without somebody standing by it, right? Like that. But I also relate to that because Kurt Cobain was the first Nirvana was the first music I ever heard where I was like, this guy is mad. And I'm not entirely sure what this dude is mad about, but I'm also mad, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm mad about. But like, it makes sense to me, and we even had that back then. Like after, unfortunately, Kurt ended his life, you go back and you listen to the old records, and you're like, oh shit, was he talking about that in this song? Was he talking about that in this other song? Like there are very confessional Kurt Cobain songs, so it's not like Taylor Swift wrote the book on this thing and people were upset back then that like, oh, you say too much, and like you should just love the fact that you're famous and never expect that like, and never take any of our criticism to heart or anything like that. Like,
well, and has anybody ever, I'm trying to think, has anybody ever in the history of music, made a larger number of people care about the content of lyrics? Like than Taylor Swift? Like, because and this isn't a critique on the women who love Taylor Swift, but a lot of people in the world, especially people who aren't like, like you, like I like Bright Eyes and fucking Neutral Milk Hotel and all that shit. Like,
right.
Most people in the pop culture lexicon, things that get really big are because they're catchy and they're snappy and they're fun and all those things. She made emotionalness.
I think emotionality is where you want to go. Yeah.
She made it popular. She made it mainstream. She made being honest and vulnerable with yourself something that is communal and is very popular, and is not something that has been in the public, like the very like tippy top of pop culture for a long time. Like Kurt Cobain was like that, but I'd argue that more women listen to Taylor Swift right now than people listened to Nirvana as closely back then. So like, if you look at it that way, it's like, who really has brought people together more with their music than her?
Well, yeah, and that's why she's the like one of few artists who can sell 100,000 seat venue like
every night.
Well, yeah. Quick question: who opens for Taylor Swift? No idea.
Who could?
Right, but like we're going in September to see a show at a stadium that requires 3 bands that had multiple hits in the 90s on a bill.
One of which is Green Day, which is like one of the biggest pop punk bands.
Green Day, the Smashing Pumpkins, who have an album that sold 25 million copies, and Rancid, who, Rancid's a far step down, but there are Rancid songs on the radio. Like, it takes the 3 of those bands combined to be an attractive enough bill to try to sell out Giant Stadium. And I don't know if they even sold it out. But like, all it takes is Taylor Swift going, I'm going on tour. And she crashed Ticketmaster, and she told them beforehand, hey, I think it's going to crash if you don't have enough support. And they're like, nah, we're fine. And she was like, okay. and then she crashed
No,
it.
you're not.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
And then it crashed. And she's going to do a 3.5 hour show. And if there were no openers, I don't think anybody is disappointed. Like Green Day is going to play a long time at our show.
And they're playing after two big bands.
And they're playing after two other big bands. Yeah. It's crazy. Like the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know if Giant Stadium is big enough for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's got to sell out SoFi like 5 nights in a row. That's like to even make it worth her while, it's got to be 5 nights. So yeah, I might revisit Tortured Poets Department. Like I said, there are a few of those songs that I really liked. Now I have to move on, but to move on, Andrew, I need. Oh, go ahead.
I'm looking up the Oracle Park concert capacity. It says 45,000, but I think that is just the normal capacity because there's going to be people on the field,
right?
So it's probably going to be closer. It's probably going to be.
I think it's like 80,000. You probably get.
You think 80? God damn!
So.
No, I don't think you can fit that many people on the floor. Big ass stage. Anyway, we'll tell you guys. Listen to Snark Marks in like late September.
Yeah,
and we'll tell you how many people were in the stadium.
Yeah. All right. For the beginning of this next part, I am going to need you to trust me, Andrew. I'm going to need you to close your eyes for a second. I have a thing to reveal. Just look.
Remember, I'm going to edit this, so if you show your ass, okay?
No, I trust you.
My eyes are closed.
All right, hold on.
My eyes are closed. I wish I could narrate what Dusty's doing right now because for the audio listeners, so because I would, but I have no idea what he's doing. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Okay,
this could be an elaborate prank. Oh, okay. Ready?
You merely adopted the dog.
Dusty got a CPAP machine.
I
thought about this.
Yeah.
You were born in the chaos.
You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it.
Molded by it.
had air forced through my pathways by it.
Oh my God, bro! I am so proud of you. Yeah. You look like you look like somebody like forgot to get an elephant costume for the school play.
I have half an elephant costume.
All right, so Dusty was the most notorious, craziest snorer that ever existed on the planet. Probably still is. He went to a sleep study. He got he got prescribed a CPAP machine, and apparently he has now received that machine. Dusty, have you slept a night with the machine yet?
Last night was the first night with the machine. And let me tell you something. I'm going to move far away from the mic. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to move as far away as I can. So give me 1 second.
Okay.
It fucking sucks, bro. I hate it so much. You know what's really hard to do? Go to sleep with a mask on your face.
Yeah. Can you sleep on your side with that thing?
Yeah, you kind of have to, which is not how I normally sleep.
You're a back sleeper guy?
No, I sleep on my stomach.
You're a stomach sleeper guy. Yeah.
So I both sleep on my stomach and breathe out of my mouth. Neither thing can I do with this contraption on.
So you can't breathe out of your mouth?
No, if I turn this machine on and try to talk, it feels like demons are trying to come out of my chest because the air doesn't know where to go.
Well, you should have fucking learned how to breathe, Dusty. If you knew how to breathe normally, you wouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean?
It's not my fault, you asshole.
You just take it off.
It's hot. It's hot in the mask.
Did you fall asleep?
I honestly
you fall asleep?
I honestly can't tell you if I did or not. Like, it doesn't feel like I did.
Okay.
Feels like the whole night. Because, like, you think you get a good seal on it, right? And then I, like, turn to go to sleep, and then, like, one little part of it is now open, and it's like, psh, you know. And so
that's so annoying.
Yeah. And it has to blow.
This makes me very happy.
It has to blow air out of this part for the CO2. There's constantly air flowing out of the front of it. So if I put my hand by the mask, I could feel the air on like my hand, or it'll blow back
that's
like
distracting
into my face. Yeah, it fucking sucks. It's so like the fact that this is the best solution that they've come up with to solve this problem is absurd. And I'm supposed to clean the thing like every day. They're like, hey, you have to clean this so that it doesn't get like mold or bacteria or some shit in it. Every day. And they're like, yeah, like literally every day you have to take it apart and clean it. Well, it's the least friendly applicable machine that I've ever dealt with.
It makes me so happy. I urge you to stick it out.
Well, I'm going to, because you have to wear it 4 hours a night for 21 days out of the month. Otherwise, they revoke your your insurance for it. So like you have to use it. And of course,
how do they know?
Because the machine reports. It's a narc that took
yes, bro. You're getting told on. You're gonna have that shit on your cat in a few days.
It's like, oh, the cats hate it. I put it on, and my cat was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
That's so funny.
Who are you? Where are you?"
So just so everybody knows, Dusty's wife has to sleep with headphones on. Is she? So last night she went with the headphones, I'm sure.
No, she slept elsewhere because I was like, look, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how it's going to go.
No, I get it. No, that's
like, and you got to go to work, and I can call in if this sucks, which I did call in because it sucked. Because one of the other things that can happen is so the idea is you have the soft palate of your mouth. And when you have sleep apnea, you don't get enough air to that area. And so this thing forces air through that pathway to stop snoring and to help you sleep. Right?
Oh, man. Yeah.
But one of the problems is you can swallow the air. And then guess where the air goes? Right in the old tum-tum.
Yeah, right in the tummy.
Right in the old tum-tum.
Then you get a little tummy ache.
Yeah.
Or you get heartburn like a motherfucker or something.
I woke up at like 4 a.m. and I was like, it was about 4 a.m. and I was like, I've had about enough of this shit. And then I was like, oh, I feel like I'm going to throw up. Cool. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And then I just like had terrible stomach pressure, like for like hours. And I'm looking it up, and they're like, all the websites are like,
inject all of this directly into my veins.
Yeah, all the websites are like, yeah, that could happen, but the alternative is your heart gives out when you're 50 and you die.
Yep.
So
that's the thing.
What
it is, either die or deal with this shit.
And
I'm proud of you. The reason that I implored you, and I'm not saying I'm the reason you went and did it.
Right.
I talked a lot of shit to you, told you to go get sleep studies and stuff. The reason I did it is because I knew how inconvenient this was going to be for you and how good a podcast fodder it was.
Yeah, it sucks. I don't know. Like, I don't know that I'm ever going to get used to it. I talked to a lady on the phone the other day because I didn't know that I couldn't talk when I had this goddamn thing on. And so the other night I was like, are my lungs going to explode if my mouth opens? Because like I can breathe through my nose when I'm awake trying to go to sleep.
That's somewhat about Bob shit.
No, it felt like, seriously, like a big fat guy was sitting on my chest when I tried to open my mouth and talk. And maybe maybe you get better at it and I was just unaware, you regulate it better. But when I'm asleep, I can't control if my mouth opens or not.
It'll wake you up.
Right. But I don't want it to do that because it sucks. Yeah. So I called them for a consult and I was like, hey, this is going on. Like, is that normal? What do I do about that? Do you have a suggestion as to what to do about that? And she was like, well, you have pretty severe sleep apnea. There's a lot of pressure that's coming through that mask. You have some of the highest pressure I've ever seen. I'm like, move on. I don't need to know about that. Like that doesn't help me. It doesn't help me at all for you to tell me like, oh shit, man, like you are in real big trouble. I'm trying to use the mask. Help me.
Your chart just says "fuck city" on it.
Yeah,
Big
like
stamp that says "fuck city."
like I could do something about like like I did it on purpose. You know what I'd like? Very severe sleep apnea.
It's really it really is annoying how bad at breathing you are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I think you will get used to it. I think I'm speaking from no experience,
right,
for the record, but I think that a lot of people, like if you talk to people and they're like, I never got used to the mask, they didn't try very hard. It's gonna suck for a little while. You're gonna have to go through some suck. And he's still burping. He's still trying to get still trying to get it out.
Look, it sucked. It was a terrible morning.
Well, I think you'll eventually get used to it. I think after the first night's sleep, I bet there's going to be a time when you have a night's sleep where you wake up and you're like, holy shit, this is what getting 8 hours feels like.
When people like, I know somebody who has one. A buddy of mine has one too, and he's like, it's great. It changed my life. I feel so much better. Like, I'm not like gonna give up on it because I understand the necessity for it. It just sucks, and it feels like no one who works with like that. Everyone who works with these things acknowledges how inconvenient and terrible they are, but no one has any constructive assistance for how to make it better. They're just like, yeah, no, it kind of sucks, but you know what sucks worse? Being dead.
Yeah, well, they can't tell you it doesn't suck, because then you're gonna be like, well, then something's wrong with this one. So they got to be like, yeah, it's gonna suck for a little bit, but
like some positive affirmation or some sort of like tips and tricks, you know, like help me out, because all of their stuff is like, well, you just kind of deal with it.
Have you tried learning how to breathe?
Yeah. Have you tried to suck less? You know, so that's great. Yeah, that is what is going on now. But I did get them to send me. They're going to send me a chin strap to help.
Hell yeah, dude.
And then secondarily, they're sending me a full face mask.
Yeah.
As opposed to just the nose mask. Because I was like, look, the problem is I've spent 30 some odd years breathing through my mouth, which I understand is not the ideal way that you're supposed to breathe when you're sleeping.
Yeah, it's not good.
But what do you want me to do? Because that's how my brain knows we're going to sleep.
What do you want me to do?
Like, that's how my brain knows we're going to sleep. Because otherwise I'm just laying here thinking about the fact that that's probably some of it too, is I'm laying there going like, fuck, I need to go to sleep. Am I going? Yeah, no,
there's so many things.
Am I going to sleep? No. How long's it been? Oh, 26 minutes. Dope. Super
sick.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you're thinking in your head, you're like, it's probably like 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. And then like, you have to get up to pee, and you don't want to look at any clocks on the way back to your bed, because you don't want to know that it's 3:45 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, and to get up to pee or do anything, I have to take the stupid mask off. And then I have to try to put the mask back on in the dark.
Oh man!
Like I was.
Give me that. Just give me that sweet stuff. Just keep giving it
until,
to me.
Unlike counter to what I said earlier, I was not born in the darkness. I can't see in the dark to put this stupid ass thing back on.
Is there like is it like a tube that's attached to like a box on the ground?
Tubes. Yeah. There's
that's one that nobody's gonna get that. The tube.
There's like a
Wolverine.
There's a tube that's attached to like the interface.
I can't wait until you're slightly used to this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you wake up in the middle of the night, you got to pee or you got to go get some water, and you just walk, and the tube just yanks that shit off your head.
Yeah, so we'll see. That was night 1. We'll see how night 2 goes.
Well, man, I'm proud of you. And please continue to update us. I want this to be a weekly segment. How the sleep's going.
Yeah.
And I had a little medical incident this week. I was at a hockey game. Did you know? Well, you know. Have I talked about the fact that I can't puke on this podcast? Probably.
I believe we've at least alluded to it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I can't throw up, everybody. Mechanically, it's impossible. There's a long story. I had surgery. I just try and try and try, and nothing comes out, as if it's completely empty, but it's not.
Yeah.
And that's the bad part. So I was at a hockey game this week, Bakersfield Condors. I live in a city. I live in a city with a minor league hockey team. I love watching live hockey. And I went to one game this year, and it was the last game of the regular season.
I believe that the stadium that you go to is located on Corn with a backwards R Avenue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's the back road. That's the road behind it. It's actually on Truxton, but it's Corn Row, Dusty.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh, wow.
because corn is from Bakersfield.
Go.
So I was at the hockey game. I got a Mind Haze IPA.
Okay. Yeah.
Venture to guess how much this Mind Haze cost me, Dusty?
Okay, let's see.
It's a tall boy. It's a tall boy.
Okay. Did you get it at the concession stand, or did the guy walking around bring it to you?
Concession stand.
Okay. I'm going to say that sets you back 14 American dollars.
$17.
But do you remember? Of course you remember.
It's a minor league hockey game.
Of course you remember. We went to the Granddaddy.
Goddamn
Granddaddy.
Goddamn WrestleMania. Yeah.
We were sitting in our seats, and a guy came around. A couple of tall. What was it? Modelo's, maybe
805 or
something
like that.
And Andrew very graciously is like, "Hey, do you want one of those?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, 2, but we don't know how much they cost.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, "Okay," so he's sending down 2, and then Andrew stands up to hand his debit card to the guy because he doesn't want to send it down the conveyance.
Yeah, I don't want to hand all these people my debit card, taking pictures of it and shit.
They give him the receipt. $36.
$36, dude.
And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and nurse this beer.
Yeah.
Nearly the entirety of WrestleMania. So yeah, no matter where you go in, they're getting you with that.
It's unbelievable. It's fucking price gouging.
The audacity.
Had I gotten, do you want to guess how much a foot-long hot dog was?
Okay. Ooh, a foot-long hot dog. A foot-long hot dog, I'm going, but you know what? I'll stick with 14 American dollars.
$13. $13 for a foot-long hot dog.
So you're in for $30 if you want food and one drink.
Yeah.
And it's a hot dog. Look, I love a hot dog.
Yeah, it's not your real food.
Yeah. They're not, yeah. It's not like they've invented the best hot dog.
No.
They're all
some horse shit they bought at Costco.
Yeah, they're all the same hot dog.
Yeah, and it's not the Costco hot dog.
Yeah.
That's not horseshit. Costco hot dog, very good. And $1.50, by the way. It's $13 at the Bakersfield Condors games. Is it condor meat? It better be. I better be eating one of the most endangered and beloved animals in this state's history.
You better have one back there that you bludgeoned.
On my arm, dog.
Yeah, there better be one that you bludgeoned back there.
Yeah, and in front of its children.
Yeah.
Okay. So I get just the beer. We're sitting in our seats. It's a good game. It's a fun game. The one of the Condors is retiring, and
not Steve Condor.
Yeah, and we were poking a bunch of fun at retiring from minor league hockey. So the guy I was with was like, he was like, "What did the assistant manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car pop up?"
Yeah, well, it's like, what'd you do last night? Retired from minor league baseball. Oh, okay, and he's working at Costco in the morning.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
because he needed the money.
Yeah,
it's the thing. It's like, I was like, man, it sure would be nice if his friends and family were here, but they don't comp tickets for these guys, and he can't afford them. But anyway, he actually scored a goal in the game. It was very nice. But
cool.
I drank my beer. They got some popcorn. I was eating some popcorn. And I'm sitting there, and my friend and I are just like making jokes, talking about things. And I was trying to. The lady in front of me was in a Facebook message. She was messaging somebody back and forth, and I was trying to read her messages the whole time. Nothing juicy, unfortunately, but that's always fun. So he's in the middle of saying something, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I have to puke.
Oh no!
And just so everybody knows, like I said earlier, I drank like a little over half a tall can. I'm not drunk at all. I'm sober, almost completely sober. And I'm like, all right, well, I know I'm not going to puke, so I'm just going to pretend I don't have to puke for a little bit. Hopefully this goes away. And then the saliva on the back of my throat thing starts happening, when you really have to puke.
Right.
And I'm like, this is bad. Like, I really have to puke. So he was like talking, and I was like, hey, I'm just letting you know right now, I feel like I have to throw up. So, and I was like, I can't, remember, because he knows. And he's still like leaning back, like he's afraid that I'm going to puke all over him.
Like,
and I'm like, no, seriously, dude, I'm not going to throw up on you. I can't. And he's like, oh, yeah. So I get up, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the lobby for a second. So I like get up, and I'm like walking, and I'm like doing the excuse me thing, and I'm walking through, and I'm just, the whole time I'm like, don't dry heave in front of these people. Like,
right.
And so I'm walking down the aisle towards the thing, and I have a jacket in my hand, and I put the jacket up to my face, and I just go, because when dry heaving is very violent for me, because my body's like, no, dude, we're getting this out of here.
Right. This is poison to us. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah. So I went into the lobby, and I was dying, bro. I was dry heaving probably every 10 seconds. And just so everybody knows, if you've never done it, it hurts. It's not fun. It can tear your esophagus. It's a dangerous thing to happen. So I'm like, I have to go to the hospital. Like, something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
So I asked the guy, I'm sure I looked like shit. I asked the security guard at the door, I was like, hey, is this like a no re-entry situation? He's like, yeah, there's no re-entry. I was like, okay, fine. So I walked like back towards the bathroom, and I just stood outside the bathroom, just like dry heaving into my jacket over and over and over again. And finally it went away, thankfully. And but this could have been a dire situation. But the thing that I was thinking about is, had I been able to puke,
right,
I would have thrown up in the stands. I wouldn't have made it.
Right.
And I still don't know what did that. Like, I felt like I kind of had a bug over the weekend after that, but like, I still don't know what did that. Have you ever had a situation where you weren't super sick afterwards, you weren't super sick at all before, you weren't drunk, and you just had, like, out of nowhere had to puke?
Yeah, I think you'll recall we were at our friend Erica and Michael's house one time, and maybe I'd started some new medication or something back in the day, but we were just hanging out, and I was like laying on the ground, and you and Michael had went outside, and it was just me and Erica inside, and she was talking to me, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna throw up. Like, in my head, and I'm like, don't throw up. You don't want to do that. That is the thing you want to do the least, actually. Mm-hmm. And so she's talking, and she has no idea, but now I'm not answering. And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like starting.
You're just trying to hold it together.
Yeah. But I'm like starting to sweat.
Yeah.
Because now the thing is happening where I'm like, oh, we're beyond we passed the Rubicon, as it were. Like, the saliva is starting to build up. There's nothing I can do. And she's like, are you okay? And I just go, I think I have to puke. And she's like, oh, go in the bathroom. And I was like, yes, that is what I should do. And I went in their bathroom, and I threw up a bunch, and then you had to take me home, and I was fine. After I threw up, I felt fine. And you took me home, and I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. But like, once the chain reaction of events begins, there's not really anything, like, there is no stopping that train. You can't put the emergency brake on unless, like you said, you're literally unable to puke, which sounds so much worse. Because, like,
it was awful
every time, because you just have to wait for your body to, like, metabolize it somehow or do something with it. Like,
yeah, essentially my body has to realize this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, it got up to like my solar plexus.
Yeah.
I could feel it. And it couldn't, it just like kept trying and trying and trying.
I have to tell you, as a person, like, throwing up is one of my least favorite activities. But if I have to do it, if I'm sick enough to where it has to happen, I always feel better when it's
it would have been, sometimes dry heaving makes me feel better.
Right.
It like tricks my body into, or it like gets the stuff out of this. We're getting really graphic here, but like, it was, I was panicked because this never happens to me. It never happened randomly like that. And I was like, oh, this is really, really bad if this doesn't go away. Like
Yeah.
I've had situations where I've torn my esophagus a little bit from dry heaving, and because it's a violent thing, like your body is like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
This is because my esophagus doesn't know that my stomach's tight around
Right.
it.
No
My
one's,
esophagus is stupid. I'm the only one who
yeah,
knows.
no one's given them that information. The note never made it that far.
You never learned to breathe. I never learned how to tell
Yeah.
my body that it can't throw up.
Yeah. Well, I also remember, so I used to eat these, I would buy them. They were pre-packaged, like broccoli and beef, or like
Hell yeah, dude.
Szechuan chicken or something, like, but they would come in these containers, like they would come in the with plastic on them. And I read the instructions like a million times, and the instructions were always like, do not take the plastic off, microwave it with the plastic on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, because that seems like that flies in the face of every convention I know about microwaving food in a container. But that's what it says. And then I would go, yeah.
Got a steam.
Oh yeah, but then I would go to eat it, and it felt like I could taste the plastic, like it had leached in through the little box that it, because it's like there's the little Chinese takeout tray box, then there's the plastic around it, and then you're supposed to microwave it with the plastic on it, and then dump it out and eat it. And I would always be like, little bit plasticky for me, dog. Little bit of BPA, I think, in this thing.
Not into that at all.
Yeah, and I remember eating one time, and it was whenever we worked in the same department, and I went back to my desk after lunch, and I just started getting like the throw up sweats, and I was like, oh no. And so I went and told our boss, I was like, I gotta go. Like, I gotta go home. And I'm giving myself a pep talk the whole way home. Don't throw up. You don't need to throw up. You don't want to throw up. Everything's fine.
Throwing up's overrated.
Yeah.
You're not throwing up in your whole life.
Yeah. I'm never throwing up again. You're going to go home and you're going to go lay down and you're going to be fine. You are the master of your body.
You'll die before you throw up.
You are definitely in control of this situation. And then I got home. Long story short, I was not the master of my situation.
You were born into the cuisine.
Yeah.
Molded by
threw up, but then I was like, okay, that's better. I should have just done. Well, I shouldn't have just done this at work. I'd rather die than throw up at work. But I feel much better now. So now I have the rest of the day for myself. You've
never thrown up in work?
No, God, no.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
I would. I will 1,000% go home. Always go home. Hey.
Yeah, they should want you to go.
Yeah. Hey, going home.
Hey, out of here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why tomorrow.
Yeah. Look, if you don't let me leave right now, there's gonna be a bigger problem for everybody in a minute. Because
I'm gonna be honest, I want to leave, but also you want me to leave.
Yeah, this is beyond my regular. I want to leave just because.
Yeah, I always want to leave.
Yeah, just because capitalism is bullshit. But I have an extra reason. Since you were talking about hockey, it made me think of something. Do you know about the hockey goalie rule in the NHL?
Which one?
There's a goalie rule that the home team has to have 2 goalies, and if both of those goalies get injured,
the E-Bug.
Yeah,
you're talking about the E-Bug.
Yeah, they have a backup guy who's just a guy.
He's just a dude
who's played some hockey, and then they'll like. So for everybody who didn't hear, so in the NHL, you have to have 2 goalies available on your home team squad. And if both of those goalies get injured, they have an emergency backup goalie that you have to designate before the game. And if both those people get hurt, you call that guy, and he has to be ready to go. And normally it's a guy who's played like some hockey, probably up to a minor league level, but does another job normally. Like the last big one I heard about was like a dude who was an insurance salesman who got to play like a minute of professional hockey because both of the goalies for the home team got hurt. That is a who can play the drums situation.
It's the ultimate one.
Yeah, and it's
the greatest.
It's like I want to know the incident that necessitated this rule where they're like, wait, both goalies are hurt? You don't have anybody who can play goalie? There's not even just a guy who could put on the pads? And they're like, well, we got to change that. You gotta.
We got to get a guy.
Every single team in the league has to have a guy ready to dress and be a backup, the backup goalie. Surely 2 goalies won't get injured.
Yeah, it's so. What did you just learn of this, or what did an e-bug actually play? Or?
Well, no, it made me think of it because you were saying like this minor league hockey player also has another job, and it just made me think like, oh yeah, hockey is the only sport where they're like, hey, guy with another job, tonight you play professional hockey.
Yeah,
they don't do that in the NFL. You don't get to be like, we have an extra lineman dressed, but he sells cars at Dodge Monday through Friday.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. And e-bugs have gotten into the games before. It's a very interesting concept, and it's not always like a pro level hockey player. Like a lot of times, it's like a dude played like some college hockey, and he's the e-bug for the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
and I listened to a golf podcast, actually Barstool's golf podcast, Foreplay. One of their producers is an e-bug.
Really?
The NHL. Yeah, they literally just call him e-bug.
That's awesome. But every home game, this guy has to be ready to go, right? He's like,
yeah, I don't know if he dresses. I don't know if that's how it works, because it said like, well, they might have to dress, because it said, I just looked up a thing and it said, hold on, I'll show you. It's like he must be fully dressed and ready to play when needed at any time during a game. No skater other than the goaltender may wear goalie equipment unless both of the team's netminders have been injured and aren't able to play for any reason. So if the e-bug gets hurt, then you can bring somebody else in. But let me see.
Thomas Hodge, a 27-year-old life insurance salesman from the Metroplex, became an NFL goaltender Friday night for 20 minutes of the Dallas Stars regular season finale against the Anaheim Ducks.
That's so sick. It's so sick. How'd he do?
He apparently came on the ice and said, "What's the score?" So he was doing a good job.
I know, but I want to see. Did he give up goals?
Let's see.
What's his name? Thomas what?
Thomas Hodges. Hodges. He had never played.
Hodges.
He had never played in a pro game before, and he was in the minor leagues once for 1 minute.
He entered the game. Oh my god, bro. Oh fuck. Hold on. Yeah, so he got put into a game with a minute left, and it was a tie game. He made 2 saves on 3 shots.
Hell yeah.
Allowing a goal from Jason Robertson, which wound up being the game winner to help secure a 4-2 win for Dallas, because he played for wait, hold on. Yeah, he was playing for the Ducks against the Dallas Stars, so he lost. But yeah, he was the first guy to enter since David Ayers in 2020, and he drew applause from both fans and players.
Yeah, it looks like he alternates. They're like, they schedule Hodges and another guy to watch from the lower bowl, seated close to the elevator so they can get down to the event level in a hurry. Just one rule: can't drink. When you're on call, you got to be ready to go. So,
yeah, of course.
And I guess this is they said the 5th time that Hodges had been summoned to dress for a possible appearance, but the first time he actually made it on the ice. Like, imagine the next time you go watch a baseball game, they're like, shit, the shortstop got hurt. The backup shortstop got hurt. Well, we know Andrew Idell's here.
Yeah, he's played a little bit of baseball.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking shaking in my boots. Giant dip in. That's what I do.
Yeah. And they're like,
I laughed for that. But
here comes Andres Galarraga. Dude, go ahead.
Man, that's a deep pull.
Yeah. What's weird is that's the first baseball player I thought.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
On February 22nd, 2020, both of the Carolina Hurricanes goaltenders were injured during a game against the Maple Leafs. So this guy comes in. He puts on his pads. He's wearing a Maple Leafs t-shirt under his equipment. He's playing against the Maple Leafs. He entered the game. His team had a 3-1 lead. He allowed goals on the first 2 shots that he faced, making it 3-3. and then he stopped the next 8 shots on goal, and he had a shot on goal himself, and his team won 6-3. That's a
Hell yeah, dude.
goddamn good for him, dude.
If I stop one goal, that's all my job was all day. You know, like whenever they're like, "Oh, he gave up 2 goals," what do you expect? That guy doesn't play hockey. Like the fact that
paid.
Yeah, the fact that he stopped any shots on goal is incredible.
He got a game worn jersey and the game puck. He was given the I guess they give away stars for like the star of the game. He got the number 1 star of the game. He didn't sign a professional tryout agreement before the game, which would have paid him $500, but he didn't, under the terms of the contract. He didn't end up getting paid. He got an autographed goalie stick. The coach gave him an autographed bottle of wine. It was the 40th anniversary of the Miracle on Ice. What a fucking day this guy had. The teammates pulled together and gave him a little bit of money, which is pretty sick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. On Doug Ford, the brother of Rob Ford. You know who Rob Ford is? The Canadian politician.
Oh yeah, of course.
He used to smoke crack.
Yeah.
He was the best. He called Ayers to congratulate him on this performance. The Hurricanes started selling T-shirts with his name and jersey number on it, with royalties going to him and a portion of the proceeds being donated to a kidney foundation of Ayers' choice. Did he have a kidney thing happen in his life or something?
Seems like it.
They're just like, hey, do I name a kidney charity?
Yeah, we give stuff to the kidney charity around here. That's
goddamn.
Look. The main thing is all that stuff is extra. You get to dine out on the story. Oh, hey, have you ever played professional hockey? I have. Let me tell you my tale. You know, like
they made February 25th, 2020, David Ayers Day in the city of Raleigh. Man, they really went after this guy.
That's February 25th, 2020. Nothing bad happened after that. Everything's great.
It was all smooth sailing.
Yeah.
They named him an honorary citizen of the state of North Carolina, which is as high as you can get in terms of things, the honors
of municipal honors. It's the best one they got. Yeah,
he got endorsements. he joined the CBD company Cannon Brands as a brand ambassador. James Corden is producing a movie based on his story.
No. Noted cool guy James Corden.
No fucking way, dude. James Corden, my least favorite celebrity. He's a Southern Professional Hockey League coach now.
Dude.
But he was replaced by the season's end. Never mind.
Oh, well, you know. Those who can't do sometimes play hockey at the pro level.
God, that's fucking great, dude.
But that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. That's that's your story for every dinner party you go to for Infinity. Hey, I tell you about the time that I put. Yeah, you did. Well, gather around because I'm telling it again.
Did you get to play in a fucking hockey game?
Yeah. Did they ever sell a jersey with your name on it? No. Then shut up. Go back to the artichoke dip if you don't want to hear about this story.
There was another guy who came in 2017. He saved 7 shots out of 7. Becoming the first emergency goaltender to ever stop a shot. That can't be true. In 2017?
Well, the rule hasn't been around forever. I think it's a fairly recent rule. So maybe he was like the first guy.
Well, I bet he was the second guy, and the first guy had a real hard time.
Again, even if the backup goalie gives up like 10 goals, what did you expect? What do you want him to do? Like, I don't know what sort of expectation to put on a guy whose hockey career stopped after high school.
Yeah. And this guy didn't get paid anything.
Right, yeah. Good.
They gave him his game worn jersey.
And I bet he wears it everywhere. And never takes it off. Definitely dries it on the clothesline so that the dryer doesn't wear it out, you know.
That's amazing. They need an emergency backup second baseman. I'll sign up for that.
That's
Mike Trout killed a guy.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
Do you think? Okay, if you went up against a professional pitcher, do you think
Yeah.
it's 3 up and 3 down? Do you think that you could get that you could notice a ball or foul one off or something? Like, do you think you're just out? Because I'm out. I'm not. I can't even swing. Probably.
Oh yeah, you got no chance.
Yeah.
I played baseball my whole life. It's 3 up and 3 down. I would be absolutely shocked if I got a hit in my first 3 at bats against a major league pitcher. A lot of people are like, "Man, you could play a whole season and not get a hit. They're so good." No, you'd get a hit. Like, so like, I would be able to see the ball, but I would probably laugh at how fast and how much it moves.
Yeah. What's the fastest you think you ever saw?
Like 92. Something like
Ooh.
that. I saw 92.
Yeah.
I got hit in the back by like 88. That hurt real bad.
I bet that probably doesn't feel great. No.
The ball almost made it all the way back to the pitcher.
Oh.
Because it hit my rib
against your bones. Oh man.
I still have people tell me that's the worst hit by pitch they've ever seen in their life. I stayed on my feet, but it hurt like shit. 92 was very fast, and the guy had like 2 different curveballs. He ended up being, so this was in high school, and he was Cal's closer the next year. His name was Steven Pizzaresi, and like literally, I'm walking up to the batter's box, and this game's on the radio because it's a playoff game. So like the I could hear the radio announcer behind me, and it was like in Angels in the Outfield. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah. Oh, have I seen Angels in the Outfield? Come on, Don.
Yeah, Danny Hemmerling, the guy who brings in, he's known for his glove and not for his bat. Yeah. Hemmerling from Mitchell, go back to Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. That part.
Yeah.
I wasn't a pitch hitter; I was a starter. But when I was walking to the plate, the guy was like, "Here comes Andrew Idell. He's known for his glove. He's not. He didn't have the best offensive season this year." So I'm basically literally thinking about Danny Hemmerling when I'm walking to the plate. I'm like, he's giving me the Hemmerling treatment. And the first pitch was just like, it is like, I couldn't believe it. But like, I pulled 3 balls hard. They made an error on one of them, but I was 0 for 3. I got on base once, and I didn't strike out at all. I went so I made good contact all 3 times. Hit the ball hard. It was just like 2 right at the shortstop, and 1 was kind of in the hole that he made an error on. So like, I can hit. I mean, I'm probably in worse shape than I am now in terms of hitting because I haven't seen live pitching in a long time. But I can hit like 92, 93. Like if you give me, I mean, you think about it this way. Have you ever heard of the Major League Baseball player Matt Holliday?
Yes.
It's okay if you haven't. He's a very good baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
He played for the Rockies. He played for the Yankees for a little bit. He played for a bunch of people. I think the Cardinals for a bit. Very good player. His son, Jackson Holliday, is the number 1 prospect in baseball right now. I think he's 19. He's an incredible baseball player. I think it's 19. He is, how did I type it wrong? Why is it not coming up? Why does it matter what his age is? He's 20. Okay. He's 20.
Yeah.
But he just got pulled up by the Orioles. Okay. He started his career 1 for 30. So anybody who doesn't play professional baseball, who's like, oh yeah, I'd definitely get a hit in the first 15 at bats.
Right.
Jackson Holliday is a better baseball player than you.
Right.
And he started off 1 for 30. He's currently hitting 0.59. So it sounds like he might have gotten a second hit. Let me look. So like, it's really, really hard. And the pitchers now are filthier and better than, like, they throw harder than they ever have by a million. Like, it's not even close. Everybody has a 90-mile-an-hour slider. There's people with splitters over 90 miles an hour. The changeups are insane. Like, it's never been harder to hit in the major leagues. So like, you tell me right now, like, if you get into baseball, are you gonna have any success? I would say no. But over a season, he's 2 for 34 right now.
Right.
To start his career.
Well, so like, I read it.
Over a season, I'd get a hit.
Sure.
I would get 1 hit if at least on a full season of baseball. I can tell you that. I would be shocked if they would bench me, obviously, in some weird magical thing in which they're forced to play me every day. I would get a hit and probably multiple hits over a season. But like, if you're like, hey, are you getting a hit in your first 15 at bats? I don't know, man. Probably not.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Unless something magical happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I read a thing about how, people, it all essentially comes back to the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Which is like people's overestimation of their ability on something, because you only see the best people doing it. So you, in turn, misdiagnose how good you would be at something. Like, the less you know about something for somebody who has this, the more they think that they would be an expert at it. Like,
Of course. A
um,
lot of people think baseball is easy.
well, or that any of that stuff's easy. Like, there was like a Twitter thread going around, which was like, the worst player in the NBA cooks every dude that plays at a gym every day of the week. Like,
Oh yeah, I think that there was like a YouTube video where the guy who is technically the quote unquote worst player in the NBA went out and just fucked everybody.
He's
up
just
in, like,
draining threes, like,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, like, it's hard to understand how limited the type of people are that get to the level of the NBA or the Major League Baseball or any of those things. Like, there's not even enough players in the history of the major leagues to fill a major league stadium, I think is a stat I saw one time, right? Like,
I saw kids who went to the minors and couldn't cut it at all. And I saw them play against really good competition, and I played against them. And it is like, you look at those kids and you go, they belong in a different league. Like, and they stand out like crazy. Like, I went to a game one time, and I went with a guy, and the guy was like, don't look it up, but I want you to guess who the number one draft pick on this field is. Because there was a guy who was going to be a first round draft pick. 15 minutes, maybe less. It took me, and they hadn't even started the game. I was watching everybody warm up, and you could tell who the guy was. And like, it's just different. Like, so like, I can hit a golf ball 300 yards. Like, that's there's in terms of playing golf, maybe less than like 1% of golfers ever get to hit a ball 300 yards, or maybe a little more. Nah, I don't know. It's very small how many people can hit a ball that far. I'm not great. Like, if people saw that, they'd go, "Oh man, sign this guy up." You know what I mean? But like, the difference between me and a guy on a tour way lower than the PGA Tour, like, I know a guy who's like on like little mini playing in small professional tournaments, that makes me look like a little shitting my pants baby at golf, and I can hit the ball 300 yards. So like,
it's the
levels,
right? Well, it's the same. I think we mentioned it before. Like, in pro wrestling, Kurt Angle is the only Olympic gold medalist in pro wrestling, right? And he was an amateur champion. But Brock Lesnar was an NCAA champion at the Division I level for Minnesota. And they're like, oh, is Brock or Kurt Angle can't be that much better than Brock Lesnar. And apparently they had an amateur match, and Kurt Angle won't say that he dominated Brock Lesnar, but he's like, I beat him because I know all the ways to beat somebody, because I'm an Olympic champion. Like, the difference between being an Olympic champion and being an NCAA champion, that gap is incredibly wide, but you don't think about it, because the only thing next to it is NCAA champion. The next level is Olympic champion, but the chasm is gigantic. But between those two things, even for people who are super freak like athletes, like, it's incredibly difficult to bridge even that gap. And Angle is like, I had to kill myself. Like, if you look at Kurt Angle's training schedule whenever he was training for the Olympics, it's what an insane person would do. Like, to be that good.
Wrestling is grueling. It's tough.
To be that good. He's like, 2-hour practice in the morning, then I run 5 miles, then I do weight room, then I do 2 more hours of practice, then I do cool down, then I get up at 5 a.m. and I do it again. And I do that every day, all year, for 2 years to train for the Olympics. It's like, I don't take any days off, because a day off is wasted time. And all I do is wrestle the other best guys in the world at this thing. Like, so that, for anything, is what the difference is, and it's crazy to think about it that way.
Yeah, so that's why it's so awesome that there's a e-bug that exists. And I truly believe, and this is like almost a hack premise at this point because so many comedians have talked about it in the past, where they think that one average guy should compete in every Olympic event. Like I said, it's kind of hack.
Right.
Like so many people have talked about it before. I would love that. I think they should do that. I think they should when when Clayton Kershaw is warming up before a game, for his warm-up pitches, they just throw a guy in the batter's box.
Right.
Like a random guy a random fan gets to put a helmet on and go up there,
or just a dude to try to catch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I would love to see that. I would love to see. You can't do it with really combat sports, but it would be funny.
Well, that's why Joe's versus Pros, the TV show, was incredible. It's like that, because it's like, but it was the same thing. It's like, I was a pretty good high school athlete. I didn't make the pros because of whatever. But like Ricky Williams better worry about me. And so Ricky Williams is not worried about you, dude.
He's not even going to feel you when he runs through.
46-year-old retired sitting on his couch, Ricky Williams is not worried about you. It's, and then the dude that's doing that's talking all that shit's like 5'6" or 5'7", and he's like, oh yeah, no, like, if it's just a matter of it's just a matter of will. And like, no, it's not just
okay, Fort Minor.
Yeah, it's 80% concentrated power of will, but he forgot about the 100% concentrated power of will of Ricky Williams. Or like
he's just gonna feel the 20% pain.
Yeah, he's like, or they're getting dusted by like old ass retired Jerry Rice, or whoever it is, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I could guard old ass Jerry Rice. No, you can't. That dude's got so much headroom for what he's doing that like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's old. You will never beat Jerry Rice.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's like watching my dad watch sports, and he knows he's wrong when he does this. But like when a guy will miss like a 15-foot putt, and my dad will be like, "Oh, come on," and like even the pros PGA Tour are 50% from 8 feet.
Right. It's in baseball, batting 300, which is 1 out of 3, not even 1 out of 3, like is Hall of Fame level. You're a god in baseball if you can hit 300 or plus. You make a good career if you could hit 270.
Yeah, and it's funny just watching the people be like, "What an idiot!" And it's like, well,
it's really hard. What's happening is really
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that,
or like the worst MMA guys that we used to watch stuff with are like, oh, I can't believe, why'd he let that guy take him down? Yeah, no, he did. That was his strategy all along. The guy you watched him with. No, I think he let him take him down to tire him out. I guarantee you he did. That was not part of the strategy.
He's letting him beat him up. No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not doing it.
He really wishes that wasn't what was happening.
You want to hit some trivia and get out of here?
Yeah, let's do that.
I already did the dozen. I screwed up. I forgot. I haven't done the dozen in like weeks, and then I did it on a podcast day. Do you want to give the dozen a shot?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll give you we'll do how we've done it in the past, where like if you don't know one but I got it right, I'm gonna give us the credit for that one. Mm-hmm. And then the other ones I won't weigh in on. Okay, so the dozen is a daily trivia show. I mean, daily trivia website, I guess. It's run by Barstool Sports. 3 questions are always sports-centric, and the rest of them are general American culture. Let's start with the NFL. Peyton and Eli's father, Archie Manning, went 35, 91, and 3 as the starting quarterback of this current-day NFC South team from 1971 to 1982.
I remember this because I used to watch ESPN religiously, and they loved showing Archie Manning as a New Orleans Saint running around getting sacked.
Yeah, see, I had no idea on this one. I didn't even guess. So, hell yeah, attaboy. The NBA question, you will not get this one. I didn't get it either.
Okay.
This Grizzlies big man averaged over 21 points per game during Memphis's 2011 first-round playoff upset over the 1-seed San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, of course, 2011. What a great year.
Yeah. That big Memphis Grizzlies team. To put it in the rafters.
Michael Jordan is what my answer is going to be.
I'll try that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's him or not. I don't know why I'm looking for him. I'm going to pick DeAndre Jordan because it's not either.
Doesn't matter.
Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
I got this one right. So halfway into his 10-year, $240 million contract, Seattle traded Robinson Cano to this National League team in 2018.
Do not know this. I believe Robinson Cano used to play for the Yankees, but that's an AL team.
Yeah, and he was a Yankee before he was a Mariner, and then they traded him to the Mets.
New York meet the Mets.
Metropolitans. History. A pioneer in the field of neurosurgery, this man was a candidate during the 2016 Republican primaries and was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under President Trump.
That is the very qualified Ben Carson.
Yes, it is. It is Ben Carson. That one video of him smiling slowly that Colbert used to play all the time. This is a celebrity mashup for those of you who are not watching on YouTube. This is where they mash two celebrities' faces together. We'll try to do this one quick. Who are these guys?
Oh, God.
It's a tough one. This one's cursed.
I
don't know who the girl is. For the record.
It looks like Kristen Stewart to me. I don't know.
All right, it's not. It's not Kristen Stewart. Oh, it might be, actually. It is Kristen Stewart, I think. But that doesn't look like Kristen Stewart to me at all. Hold on.
The eyes do, but as I discussed earlier in our group thread, I don't know what anyone looks like, apparently. Because I do.
Neither do I if that's Kristen Stewart, because that doesn't look fucking anything like Kristen Stewart to me. The man, do you know the man?
He's got a giant chin. Whoever it is, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's more a product of where they put the girl's mouth.
Okay.
Since we got it wrong, I'm gonna put who I guessed. I thought it was Josh Duhamel.
That's a good guess.
It was Dennis Quaid for the record. Chain restaurants. Founded in California in 2005, this customizable frozen yogurt chain quickly rose to fame, and it has rivals such as Yogurtland and Menchie's.
Not big on frozen yogurt. No idea.
I think it's good, but I never get it. Kai got this one right, and I got to find out if there's one of these in town. I can't remember what the answer is.
I'm going to say go TCBY.
It is not TCBY, but I will write it down. Television. Debuting in 1999, Linda Cardellini, James Franco, Seth Rogen, and Jason Segel starred in this one-season cult favorite NBC teen comedy created by Judd Apatow and Heavyweight's own Paul Feig.
That is Freaks and Geeks.
That is Freaks and Geeks.
Did you get that correct?
I did get that correct. Grossing over $900 million, Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black starred in this 2017 adventure comedy that is a standalone sequel to a 1990s Robin Williams film.
That is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle?
Hold on. I got this one right.
It
is Welcome to
because the second Jumanji...
It's Jumanji. Music.
Okay.
Along with being the lead singer of Matchbox 20, this man has success as a solo artist with 2,000 songs like Lonely No More and This Is How Heart Breaks.
That would be one Rob Thomas.
Had they written Smooth on that, I would have gotten it correct, but I didn't know. Would you have gotten this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because...
Yeah, you knew he was a singer.
My buddy was in Matchbox 20, and I was like,
Do you want to double dip any of these?
No, because I don't know that I have a better...
Shaquille O'Neal for this.
Yeah. I don't have Penny Hardaway. I don't have any better guesses,
I give up, goddammit. View correct answers. So Kai beat us. For the record, on this, she got 7 by herself. Yeah, she got the mashup and chain restaurant.
Okay,
but that is Shailene Woodley.
Oh, of course, yeah, she was.
And Dennis Quaid.
Right, she was getting healed by the sun. That's
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
She dated Aaron Rodgers for a while. She's the one who was like,
Oh, does she like the?
Yeah.
Does she point her butthole? At
Yeah,
the sun?
yeah. You just need sunlight
One of those
to
people?
inoculate yourself from COVID.
Gross. And the man is Dennis Quaid, and the Dennis Quaid was actually like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's Dennis Quaid, and I was like, well, they probably wouldn't pick Dennis Quaid for this, so I picked Josh Duhamel, and I was wrong.
Duhamel's a good pull. They did Kristen Stewart not too long ago, but I was like, that looks like Kristen Stewart to me. But again, I will reiterate, I don't know what anyone looks like. So
Yep, that's true. The yogurt place is Pinkberry,
yes, okay. There used to be one in Visalia.
and the basketball player is Zach Randolph.
Well, of course. How do we forget 2011's Zach Randolph?
All right, movie.
Movie.
We got to get from Abigail to Dancer in the Dark. Dusty.
Yeah, we do.
This seems like a bullshit.
I need to know who's in Dancer in the Dark. I saw Abigail, by the way. Not too bad. Pretty fun.
Do you know any of these people?
I know some of them, but I don't know anybody. I've never heard of Dancer in the Dark.
All right,
so
we'll flip on over to Dancer in the Dark. Bjork.
Oh, good. She's in a ton of stuff.
Catherine Deneuve, David Morse, Peter Stormare.
Oh, hell yeah, Peter Stormare.
Earl Grey, Kara Seymour, Jean-Marc Barr, Vincent Patterson, Vladika Kostic, Shaban Fallon Hogan. That's not a name.
Okay, I think
Zelchko Ivanek. Sorry, the Russian names. Go ahead.
I think I've got a way to go.
Who on here do you know?
I know David Morse.
That's the guy from fucking Prison Break.
Yeah, it's Peter Stormare. He always plays the devil.
He played Fibonacci in Prison Break.
Your connection to Prison Break is one of the more bizarre things. David Morse has been in a ton of stuff, but I think to get there, it's still going to be a bit of an arduous.
You want me to go back to Dancer?
Yeah, we got to go to Abigail because I got to start with Abigail. So let's go down to Catherine Newton right there. She is in Ant-Man and the Wasp. With old Paul Rudd, who is in something with somebody. Okay, I'm trying to get to Tom Cruise because Peter Stormare is in Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Oh shit! Okay.
So, I need to keep going.
Well, is Tom Cruise in any movies with any Marvel guys?
That's what I'm trying to think of, but like, I almost like have to see it to be able to connect them. You know, like I have to see the movies.
So we got Fun Mom Dinner, we got Nerdland, we got Sausage Party, maybe Sausage Party.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of people in it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I need like a Stiller or somebody, you know.
Is Stiller in something with Cruise?
Yeah, they're in Tropic Thunder together. Okay, there's Anchorman. Or let's go original Anchorman.
Oh, original Anchorman? Okay.
Yeah, which is further back, but it has Jack Black in it.
Jack Black is in the original Anchorman?
Yeah. He's the guy who kicks the dog over the thing.
Oh yeah.
My burrito.
Yeah. What the hell, man?
Yeah. Who's in Tropic Thunder with old Tom Cruise, who was in Minority Report, Peter Stormare, who was in Dancer in the Dark.
Look at you, dude. 5. Shortest possible is 2 because let me see.
Oh.
Catherine Newton is in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, with Zeljo Ivanek,
Oh, of course.
who is in Dance with the Dark. Don't you
Yeah,
remember?
the unseen
3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri.
The Unseen Connection. I do remember that movie, but I remember it because Sam Rockwell wins an Oscar for playing an extreme caricature of a racist cop. Like, this cop could not exist in the real world at all. It's like what's the Mark Fuhrer level evil person, and they're just like, oh, I don't know,
Mark Furman, but
Furman,
Fuhrer works.
Yeah,
Fuhrer is a Freudian. That was a Freudian
Yeah.
slip there, but.
By the way, just
Furman?
as an aside, when I watched the OJ documentary a few weeks ago after OJ died, I forgot about the part where Mark Furman was like, "I'm not a racist. Like, I policed very equally on the streets." He's like, "If you could have seen me out in the field, I didn't have a baton. I didn't have a taser. If I had to fight somebody, we fought straight up." And I'm like, do you think this is helping your case for why you're not a bad person, Mark Furman?
Listen, I like him. He's on Fox News.
They brought him in?
Dude, he's the like police correspondent.
Oh, to talk about the radical
Fox
left?
Mark Furman is the guy.
Course.
Like they're like, okay, who
would have a fair and balanced opinion about Antifa in Portland?
They won't let us walk in a camera to talk to Derek Chauvin, so.
And I think Kyle Rittenhouse is booked tonight. So is Furman free?
It's crazy that they used him for a little bit.
Right next to Tyrus, former NWA heavyweight champion, who I definitely want to hear opinions from.
He is a forensic and crime scene expert for Fox News and has been a frequent guest of Fox commentator Sean Hannity.
Oh, yep. I didn't know that, but all of that like, that's a sentence that you're not shocked when you hear all the pieces put together, you know?
Yeah, but it's an SNL skit. It's like, you know,
right.
It's literally somebody playing Sean Hannity and being like, racial correspondent Mark Furman or something like that.
Yeah,
you know? And the crowd laughs, but it's Mark Furman on the crowd, and he's being played by like Tom Hanks.
I don't know if you've watched it, so I don't know if I have beef on this. Ryan Gosling recently hosted SNL.
Oh yeah, the Beavis and Butthead.
Yes, that is a sketch with no jokes. The only joke is that somehow these two people look like Beavis and Butthead and don't know it. That's the only joke. And look, here's the thing. I laughed.
I thought, yeah,
it's funny.
A couple of the reveals were funny.
It just has no jokes in it. The only thing the only joke in it that I remember is Ryan Gosling whenever when Keenan goes, "No one's ever told you that you look like Beavis," and he goes, "I've heard rumblings," which is very funny. But like, that's a sketch where there's no, like, the impetus to that is nothing. It's just, hey, what if two dudes look like Beavis and Butthead in the background of something? Like, the level of writing on that, I was mad that I found it so funny, given that I'm like, there's almost no effort put into this. That's the whole joke.
That happened to me too. But sometimes you just think of something funny. Like, I can't get mad. Like, a lot of the stuff with actual jokes in it is less funny on SNL nowadays. Put a guy in like the reveal when they first cut to the girl and there's a guy sitting behind her who looks like Beavis, and the idea that Keenan is like this highfalutin PhD guy, and he's like, he looks like Butthead. Like,
it's whenever she turns around and sees the
breaks, sees Butthead.
Because they couldn't have shown her the makeup beforehand. It had to be.
They did.
Did they really?
They showed.
Okay.
Her. Yeah, she saw it in
like the rehearsal.
But she said that the way he tilted his head or the way that he like reacted when she looked was really what broke it.
Other really good comedy thing that I'll just recommend as we're leaving. I don't know if you've watched the Conan O'Brien Hot Ones.
No, I haven't. I usually stay away from Hot Ones, but I might do it for Conan.
He's a genius. He's so funny. He brings his own bit. He brings like inept doctor to the thing to run his own bits while he's doing the show.
That's
and he
great.
doesn't sell the hot sauce at all. Like, it's incredible.
I gotta watch
It's
it. I've heard it's really good. That's one of the ones that like I keeps popping up that like I don't I stay away from that. I don't like the I don't know. I'm sick of the like let's watch celebrities do blank even though they're not interested. Like I don't care to watch Sydney Sweeney eat hot wings,
Right.
you know? But Conan, I'll watch him do anything. I tried the other day and I couldn't. I failed. I didn't try very hard, but I tried to find the video of him doing the Coca-Cola bit. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I know
He used to do this thing in the Simpsons writers' room that they would make him do all the time because they were like sponsored by Coca-Cola, so they had like unlimited Coca-Cola. So they would like, hey, do the thing, and he'd take a drink of the Coke and he'd have it in his mouth and he'd just start shaking, and the Coke would just start flying out of his mouth.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't seen a video of him doing it in a while. I wanted to find it. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
I watched that. I watched him talking to Jim Downey about just basically all the comedy things in the world. Since you sent since you sent me the clip, not the Jeff Epstein I know.
I'm talking about the New York financier.
Yeah, he was found guilty of some terrible stuff.
No. Okay. If something had happened to Jeff Epstein, I feel like
I'd have known about it. Yeah. I went down like a Conan rabbit hole, and I think just solidified like he's the greatest of all time at whatever you want to call that particular medium. If it's late night hosting, whatever it is, like I think he's the best person to ever do it, and he's clearly like
him and Letterman. Letterman is unbelievable.
Yeah, and I haven't watched a lot of Letterman. I know the lore, the old Letterman stuff, but man. Like
Letterman was so good.
I think like the fact that Conan will go like he's desperate. He'll do anything to keep the audience entertained or interested, and like he's always looking for their joke. He's always doing bits. I read a thing online where somebody said they were an intern one summer for Conan, and he was saying hello to everyone at the beginning of the thing, and then he stopped at him and he goes, "Don't you steal from me." And the guy was like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't you steal from me." And then at the end of the internship, he's going around saying goodbye to everyone, and he gives the guy a handshake and leans into him and goes, "I know you stole from me." And he's like, he waited the whole summer to pay off this bit for himself. It's his own, and I just respect a man who's willing to do that. You know,
that my favorite thing in the world is the concept of having a joke that people tell people about. It's like, you know what this fucker did to me? Like, and he didn't like it's like the Robin Williams bought Conan a bike. Remember that?
Yeah.
Robin Williams buys Conan a bike, and Conan calls him to thank him for it, and Robin's just laughing. He goes, "Is it ridiculous?" Because he bought him like the dumbest looking bike of all time.
Whenever Conan was going through his thing with NBC,
the whole Leno situation.
My favorite thing that I used to do, social bit, was if I went to the movies with my buddy and say we both had to go to the restroom, he would always go in the stall and I would go to the urinal, and then I would ask him a question that required like a more detailed answer, and then I would just leave. and I would hope no matter what, the outcome is great. If no other person walks in, it's still funny. But if another person walks in and my friend's just in the middle of explaining something, that's very funny. If he comes out of the bathroom and I'm gone and he's been talking to no one for 10 seconds, also funny. There's no bad way that bit ends for me.
Hey man, I was thinking, what's your top 10 Martin Lawrence movies?
Yeah, just leave.
Well, you know, Blue Streak was really good.
I didn't like Big Mama's House 2 as much. I felt like and every time he would fall for it every time. And he'd come out and he'd be like, "You are a son of a bitch." And I'd be like, "Why would you?" Again, but it'd always be like, you know, so the other day you're working on this house. Did you get the roof fixed? Oh yeah, we started. And then I just leave, just bye. And just no way. Yeah. So more social bits, you know, that's probably Conan influenced. It doesn't matter. But watch that Conan's Hot One. It is definitely worth it.
I'll definitely I'll watch that.
And listen to the start marks, because in spite of one of our listeners' concerns, we have not shut the studio down. Studio's alive and well.
Yeah, I should have addressed that at the beginning of the episode. I forgot to hit the publish button on Sunday when I released the podcast, so you got it about 5 days.
And
late,
look,
so.
you're gonna get 2 in 1 week. What a lucky duck.
Yeah. Hashtag apologize. On the 150th, I did it.
Right. We've never missed a week. We've never fucked it up. And then the 150th, yeah. But for 200, we'll have that technology down.
Oh, we'll be a well-oiled machine by 200, dog.
So, all right. Andrew dropped the things at the beginning. Follow us, listen, go to YouTube, watch the video, see me washed out in the background, but also get to see me wear my CPAP machine. That's a little bonus.
That's probably going to be the clip this week, is you putting that CPAP machine.
And join us again next week because the snart marks are up to something. We're not sure what, but it's something.
We know it's no good.